I got married, but my fiancé Daniel didn't know. While he was away on a business trip abroad, my phone received intimate photos of him and his first love, Vanessa, every day. Ironically, Daniel himself was still sending me all sorts of sweet messages daily. Our wedding was in 3 days, but he sent a voice message saying, "I'm sorry, sweetheart. My work here is a bit tricky, and I can't make it back. Let's cancel the wedding for now and hold it when I return." At the same time, I received a WhatsApp message from someone else, a video of Daniel and Vanessa kissing at a karaoke bar. The background of the karaoke bar was familiar. It was a place we usually went for karaoke sessions, only about a 15-minute drive from my place. Daniel hadn't gone abroad at all. My phone rang. It was my bestie Alex calling. I slid to answer, and Alex's furious voice came through the phone. "Gracie, guess who I saw?" Before I could speak, Alex excitedly added, "Daniel, didn't you say he went abroad for a business trip? I just saw him go into a private room, and I peeked in from outside. He was with another woman. What a damn jerk. Your wedding is in 3 days. You need to cut ties with him right now." I nodded and said softly, "Yes, I know." "What? You know, and you're still so calm? You're not canceling the wedding?" she asked, surprised. I smiled. "The wedding invitations have already been sent out. The wedding will go on, but as for the groom..." I didn't finish my sentence, but Alex already understood my thoughts. "You mean, replace the groom directly? That's my bestie. Where are you? I'll pick you up. If can have his fun outside, we shouldn't deprive ourselves." I'm at my place. Shortly after I hung up, Alex drove to my place. She took me to an exclusive club downtown. As soon as we entered the private room and sat down, Alex clapped her hands, and immediately a line of male models, each at least 6 feet 1 inch, entered. Alex looked at the male models' exposed chest muscles through their open collars, highly satisfied. "Come on, bestie. Pick anyone you like." I pointed my index finger, my gaze sweeping across the line of standing male models, then settling on Marcus, who was passing by the door. I hadn't expected to run into Daniel's archenemy here. "I want him." Alex followed my gaze, her smile instantly freezing. She quickly pressed down on my hand. "Bestie, we're here to have fun." Marcus stopped at the doorway, met my gaze, and strode over with long steps. Alex whispered, "Oh no, he couldn't have heard, could he?" Marcus stood before me, looking down. He suddenly reached out a finger and lifted my chin. "Are you sure you picked me?" I grabbed Marcus's hand and pulled hard. He fell towards me with the momentum, and in an instant, our pose became incredibly suggestive. He pushed me back onto the sofa and pinned me there, leaving Alex dumbfounded. I raised my hand and lightly traced Marcus's thin lips, smiling. "Is Marcus afraid?" Marcus's expression darkened. "Do you know the consequences of provoking me?" I tilted my head up and whispered into Marcus's ear, willing to find out. Marcus immediately scooped me up in his arms and walked out. Alex anxiously called out, "Marcus, where are you taking Gracie?" Marcus didn't answer, striding out. I poked my head out from his embrace and gave Alex an okay sign. Alex, realizing what was happening, gave me a thumbs up. Marcus carried me into a third-floor bedroom, tossed me onto the bed, and propped his hands on either side of my head, asking in a slightly rougher tone, "Grace, are you really sure about this? Once you're in my bed, there's no turning back." I wrapped my arms around his neck and kissed his lips proactively. "Is Marcus incapable?" Marcus abruptly kissed my lips, responding like he was taking revenge, sucking and biting with force. I quickly regretted saying that, because Marcus was like someone who had just tasted forbidden fruit and couldn't get enough. He kept me busy all night long. Gee. In the morning, I was too tired to move, yet he held me, gently kissing my forehead. "I'm sorry, Gracie. Did I hurt you?" I didn't know. His tone was incredibly gentle, a complete contrast to last night. Seeing my lack of response, he said, sounding quite wronged, "Gracie, I've given myself to you. You have to take responsibility for me." He must have known that my wedding with Daniel was in 2 days. I smiled. Marcus, however, looked at me with a wronged expression. Just as he was about to say something, I spoke first. "Marcus, let's get married." I watched his expression shift from wronged to shocked, then to pure elation. What did you say?" I said. "Marcus, let's get married." In a burst of excitement, Marcus rolled over and pinned me again. "Gracie, are you serious? You're really not marrying Daniel anymore?" I reached out and pushed his chest, but he leaned down and kissed my earlobe, softly coaxing, "Sweetheart, let's do it again." By the time Marcus carried me out of the bathroom, someone had already delivered our new clothes. Marcus personally dressed me. I was so tired I just wanted to sleep, but he mysteriously rummaged through my bag and then said, "Come on, let's go eat breakfast." I waved my hand. "I want to sleep." But he wouldn't budge, looking like he was about to carry me again. Fearing he might get crazy again, I sat up properly. "I'm really not hungry." "No way. I was exhausted last night. You definitely need breakfast to replenish your energy. Plus, we have important business to attend to." Marcus scooped me up in a princess carry again, but this time he also grabbed my bag and walked out. Many people watched us, and I whispered in his ear, my head down, "Marcus, put me down, I can walk on my own." Marcus stopped and looked at me. "Are you sure?" I nodded, and he actually put me down. But my legs felt weak, and I almost collapsed, so he immediately scooped me back into his arms and carried me. I truly understood what it meant to be socially mortified. Marcus carried me to the passenger seat and sat me down. "Wait for me in the car for a bit, I'll go grab something for you to eat." I took his hand. "I'm really not hungry." Marcus hesitated for 2 seconds. "All right then, we'll take care of our business first, and after that, I'll take you to eat. You can nap in the car for a bit." After he got in, he kissed me again while fastening my seatbelt. I soon fell asleep. When I woke up, I was sitting in his arms at the county's office. I was speechless. I had actually slept so soundly that I hadn't even realized Marcus carried me out of the car. Seeing me wake up, Marcus smiled. "Gracie, you're awake. Perfect, the staff is in, and we're first in line." I was bewildered. So this guy, with all his mysterious talk about important business and rummaging through my bag, was just to come to the county's office to register our marriage? I was utterly bewildered, yet he led me through taking wedding photos until the official seal was stamped on the marriage certificate, and I was still completely dazed. So just like that, we were married? Marcus had me hold one, and he held the other. Then, with the county's office lobby as a background, he pressed the 2 marriage certificates together and took a picture. He then had me hold it up, embraced me, and we took a selfie holding our marriage certificates. I looked at him suspiciously. Was this really the Marcus I knew? He mysteriously operated his phone for a bit, then took my hand and said, "Gracie, let's go." He pulled me back into the car. He said, "I must be starving. Come on, I'll take you somewhere nice to eat." All the way, his phone kept ringing with incoming calls. On the other end was a female voice. "Marcus, why are you so impulsive, suddenly getting married? Did you really give up on Grace?" I knew it was Marcus's sister, Luna. Seeing me look at him suspiciously, he quickly said, "What nonsense are you spouting? I'm driving, I'm hanging up." He who? Hang up, sounding somewhat guilty. Another call came in, this time from a male voice. "Finally got through to you. What's up? Did you finally win over the one that got away?" Marcus glanced at me, but before he could respond, I spoke. "So, who is his one that got away?" The male voice on the other end answered without thinking, "Who else could it be? The one who's marrying Marcus's archenemy in a couple of days." Of course I nodded, drawing out the sound. Oh, the other end of the line fell silent for a few seconds, then erupted in shocked, amplified shouts. "Your Grace! Oh my goodness! Marcus, you really outdid yourself, your speed." He kept babbling on, expressing his shock, but Marcus hung up the phone and then explained, "He's too noisy." I smiled and said nothing. There were many calls like this. Whenever I was mentioned, Marcus would always hang up, as if afraid I'd discover his little secret. I thought he was taking me to a restaurant, until the car stopped in front of a luxurious mansion. I was speechless. He didn't say he was taking me home to his family. I hadn't prepared anything. Directly meeting the family like this seemed so impolite. Before I even got out of the car, people had already gathered around it. Among them was Luna, who pushed away Marcus as he was about to open the car door for me. "Grace, it really is you." Luna happily pulled me out. "Mom, see, I told you Marcus couldn't possibly marry another woman. Gracie simply has to be Grace." Luna pulled me in front of her mother, Margaret. Everyone was clearly very happy. My mother-in-law took my other arm. "Gracie, we've finally been looking forward to your arrival." Marcus tried to squeeze closer, but my mother-in-law pushed him away, not letting him get near, and she and Luna pulled me inside, one on each side. "Gracie, we prepared this in a hurry, but please accept these wedding gifts and investments for now." My mother-in-law pointed to the dazzling array of exquisite gift boxes on the table, then handed me a document. "Here, these are 20% of the company shares. Please sign." I quickly tried to push them back. No, I can't accept this, it's too valuable." Luna put a pen in my hand. Gracie, just accept it. The moment we saw Marcus's social media post, I guessed it had to be you, Gracie. Mom immediately brought out everything she'd prepared earlier and had the share transfer agreement printed right away. I came abruptly and didn't prepare any welcome gifts for you, so I really can't accept something so valuable. I was still refusing, but Marcus took my hand and swiftly signed my name on the share transfer agreement Luna had spread open. You're my wife, these shares should rightfully be yours. Luna nodded from the side, and my mother-in-law was also very happy. That's right, you two wait, I'll have someone set up the wedding venue right away. Margaret, I was about to speak, but Marcus, Luna, and my mother-in-law were all staring at me. Luna said, Gracie, I've already called you Gracie. Shouldn't you start using family terms too? I instantly understood and called out, Mom. My mother-in-law beamed. Yes, as she spoke, she slipped a black card into my hand. Here, this is a generous welcome gift from Mom. I shook my head. They had already given me so much, I felt embarrassed to accept more. Marcus, however, took it from my mother-in-law's hand and put it into my bag. You're part of our family now, so of course you should spend our family's money. I nodded awkwardly. Thank you, Mom. Just as my mother-in-law was about to make a call, Marcus snatched her phone. Mom, you don't need to worry about the wedding arrangements. We'll hold it the day after tomorrow. My mother-in-law looked a bit puzzled, but Luna seemed to understand something. She gasped, then gave Marcus a thumbs up. It was me. I originally wanted to explain, but Marcus cut me off. The day after tomorrow was Gracie's original wedding date. It's my good fortune to be the groom on that day. I already had a fiancé, and now, in this way, I was replacing the high and mighty Mr. Marcus with myself as the groom. I expected the members of our family to be displeased, but to my surprise, even my mother-in-law didn't mind. She waved her hand dismissively and said, then I'll have people make arrangements too. My son and daughter-in-law's wedding can't be any less grand than the Daniels families. My mother-in-law said, dialing the phone, immediately prepare the Azure ballroom for the wedding. Arrange the banquet the day after tomorrow to the highest standards. What? Someone booked it for the day after tomorrow? Then have the people who booked the Azure ballroom switch to the Sky Hall. I tugged at my mother-in-law's sleeve. Mom, I booked the Azure ballroom before. Hearing me say that, my mother-in-law quickly said, no need to change it. Just arrange the banquet for the day after tomorrow to the highest standards, and then discard anything related to the original bride and groom. What? No. Tomorrow I'll have someone redecorate the bride and groom's items. I have to say, when my mother-in-law was on the phone making arrangements, she was absolutely a business executive. Her presence was completely different. After hanging up, she returned to her warm demeanor. Gracie, this wedding is so sudden. You haven't taken your wedding photos yet, have you? Go take them quickly. Even if people have to work overtime tonight, make sure they're ready. Everything will definitely be set up before the wedding. Luna nodded in agreement. I've already booked the most famous photographer here for you. Come on, let's go. I'll take you. Luna pulled Marcus and me, one on each side, wanting to go out and take wedding photos. Marcus, however, pulled his arm out of Luna's hand and then removed Luna's hand from my arm. Go where? You're still hungry. It's not too late to go after we eat. My mother-in-law heard this and exclaimed, W. Hat? You rascal, you're letting my daughter-in-law go hungry. My mother-in-law pushed Marcus away and called towards the kitchen, Martha, quickly make some delicious food for Gracie, and bring my freshly brewed herbal tea first. Martha soon brought a bowl of freshly brewed herbal tea, and my mother-in-law said, Here, Gracie, have this to tide you over. Before I could speak, Marcus had already picked up the bowl of freshly brewed herbal tea, intending to feed it to me. I felt a bit embarrassed, so I quickly took it and ate it myself. After the meal, Luna took us to a photography studio, where someone immediately waved and called, Luna, over here. Luna pulled us over. Ethan, this is my brother and his wife. You absolutely must make them the most beautiful bride and groom. Ethan smiled and said, no need to take photos, they already are the most handsome groom and beautiful bride. Ethan was a young man, but his photography style was highly praised online. Despite his youth, he already had tens of millions of followers in photography, and countless people wanted to book him for a personal shoot. The fact that Marcus and I could just walk in and have our photos taken was solely because of Luna and Ethan's special relationship. Come on, let's go pick out outfits. Luna was already impatient. We followed Ethan inside. Vanessa walked in from outside, arm in arm with Daniel. Ethan watched the backs of the four of us as we walked inside. Vanessa followed Daniel's gaze but saw nothing. She asked, puzzled, Daniel, what are you looking at? Daniel smiled and shook his head. Nothing, I must have been mistaken. A staff member came over to greet them. Hello, do you have an appointment for a photo shoot, or are you just inquiring? Vanessa said, I'd like to see your chief photographer, Ethan. The staff member said, I'm sorry, you need an appointment to see our chief photographer. Vanessa frowned. Then I'll make an appointment now. We can sit on that sofa over there. And wait for him to finish. The staff member immediately opened a large book in her hands. I'm sorry, ma'am, but many people have already booked our chief photographer, and the waiting list extends 5 months out. If you absolutely need our chief photographer, an appointment made now would require you to come back 5 months from now. What? 5 months? Vanessa's voice suddenly rose in volume. She then shook Daniel's arm, her tone softening. What should we do, Daniel? I only want to take the best photos with you. Daniel looked at the staff member. I'll pay double the price to have that. Ethan, prioritize our shoot. The staff member shook her head. I'm sorry, sir. Daniel interrupted the staff member. Triple. Seeing the staff member still not nod, he gritted his teeth and said, 10 times. The staff member said, Sir, it's really not about the price. Our chief photographer is genuinely very busy. The manager saw the dispute and walked over. What's going on? The staff member spoke as if she'd seen a savior. Manager, this lady wants the chief photographer but doesn't want to wait, and this gentleman is offering 10 times the price for the chief to shoot for them. The manager said, I'm very sorry, sir, but our chief photographer is truly busy right now. If you're in a hurry for a photo shoot, our other photographers here are also excellent. Vanessa said, No, I only want Ethan to take the pictures. Daniel said, I'll pay 20 times the price to have Ethan photograph us. The manager didn't directly refuse but said, Please wait for a moment in the lounge area. I'll contact the chief photographer. Vanessa felt there was a chance, and her eyes flashed. Daniel is truly amazing. Just a little extra money, and they conceded. Daniel, flattered by the praise, straightened his back and, guided by the staff, sat down in the lounge area. The staff poured 2 glasses of water and brought over a fruit and snack platter. Ethan led us to a VIP room. He put into a wedding dress on a mannequin and said, Ms. Grace, this wedding dress suits you perfectly. Luna nodded vigorously, lowering her voice. Gracie, let me tell you a secret. This is the wedding dress my brother personally designed for you, kept right here. I looked up at Marcus in surprise. He had already taken down the groom's suit nearby and said, I'll go change into it. Luna chuckled. My brother is already impatient to be the groom. Luna and Ethan helped take the wedding dress off the mannequin, and I went to the fitting room to change. The moment I emerged, Marcus was utterly captivated. Luna exclaimed from the side, Wow, it truly looks custom-made for Gracie. It's absolutely gorgeous. The train of the dress was a bit long. I raised my hand to lift it, and Marcus, realizing what was happening, quickly came forward, holding it with one hand and supporting me with the other. The makeup artist was already waiting. The manager walked over. Chief, a couple downstairs is insisting on paying 20 times the price to have you photograph them today. The manager handed Ethan a tablet. Ethan saw Vanessa and Daniel on the security monitor via the tablet. Luna, with her sharp eyes, also recognized them and gasped, isn't this? Luna covered her mouth, afraid I'd mind seeing Daniel. Ethan asked, You know them? Marcus had already taken the tablet from Ethan's hand the moment Luna gasped. I also took a curious glance and saw Vanessa fork a piece of fruit and offer it to Daniel's mouth. Gracie, you. Luna looked at me tentatively, wanting to see my reaction. I looked at Ethan. Someone's practically throwing money at us, how can we refuse? Ethan looked at the manager. Today, we're only serving this couple. If they're willing to shoot tomorrow, 20 times the price wouldn't be out of the question. The manager nodded knowingly. All right, I'll go tell them now. I sat in front of the vanity, and the makeup artist applied my makeup. Marcus seemed to deliberately want me to see Daniel's embarrassed departure. He placed the tablet, with the security footage playing, right on the vanity and turned the volume up full blast. On the monitor, the manager walked to the lounge area and said, Hello, sir, our chief photographer is truly unavailable today. However, he said that if you're willing, for 20 times the price, we can expedite your shoot for tomorrow. Daniel was clearly displeased. He frowned, and Vanessa said, All right then, tomorrow it is. The manager gestured politely. Then please come over here to register, the deposit is 30%. The manager took out a calculator and rapidly tapped away. The original price is $39,800, so 20 times that is $796,000. A 30% deposit is $238,800. Sir, would you like to pay by QR code or credit card? Daniel's expression noticeably changed, but Vanessa said, "Don't worry, my Daniel is the heir to the sterling. It's just a little over $200,000, credit card." Luna looked at the monitor screen and said, didn't that woman notice Daniel's expression had already changed? I averted my gaze, looking at myself in the mirror. He'll pay it. Sure enough, the next moment, Daniel pulled a card from his pocket and handed it to the manager. After swiping for the deposit and registering their names and time, they walked out. I vaguely heard Vanessa say, "I knew Daniel was the best. Shooting tomorrow is fine too. We can go back and practice poses tonight. We're sure to get the most beautiful boudoir photos tomorrow," Luna said with utter disgust. They actually came to take boudoir photos? That's just perverted. Marcus didn't speak, but I saw him contemplating something through the mirror. Wealthy families certainly operate with exceptional efficiency. After finishing the wedding photo shoot, I was utterly exhausted, but Ethan's still had to process the photos quickly to get them ready for the wedding. That evening, Marcus and I dropped Luna off at the Vance family estate, then stayed at the Vance family mansion together. At the dinner table, my mother-in-law seemed to want me to try every delicious dish and drink. "Gracie, this is rich chicken broth. The kitchen slow-cooked it for 3 hours. Have a taste." My mother-in-law personally served me a bowl of chicken soup. I was overwhelmed by the gesture. My mother-in-law then said, "Gracie, I wasn't sure what you liked, so I had Martha prepare various meats for you." I looked at the abundant dishes on the table. "Mom, I'm not a picky eater." Marcus, standing by, interjected with a sarcastic remark, "Indeed not picky." Immediately after dinner, as I followed Marcus back to the room, he impatiently closed the door and pinned me against the door. "Marcus, you." I was about to speak, but Marcus blocked my lips with a kiss. He didn't let go until I was breathless. He bit my lip as if in revenge. "Gracie has tasted the good things now, so you can't be unpicky anymore." I was speechless. Had lost his mind? I reached out and pushed him. "I want to take a shower." Marcus didn't say a word, simply scooped me up horizontally. Perfect, together. Marcus carried me into the bathtub, turning on the faucet as he passionately kissed me. I really couldn't understand how a man's stamina could be so boundless. By the time Marcus carried me from the bathroom to the bed, I was too tired to move, yet he still managed to lean over me, kissing my ear and whispering, "Gracie, how about we do it one more time, just one?" Indeed, a man who has tasted forbidden fruit is insatiable. When I woke up the next day, it was already past 10 in the morning. The moment I opened my eyes, I saw Marcus propping his head with one hand, staring at me. I instinctively pulled the blanket up to my chest. Why are you staring at me?" "I just think my Gracie is incredibly beautiful." I scrutinized him suspiciously. Was this still the Marcus I knew? I checked my phone, the screen showed 10:46 a.m. I quickly sat up. "It's so late. Why didn't you wake me?" Marcus sat up with me. "You were exhausted last night, so of course you needed a good rest." Hearing that, I immediately felt my cheeks and ears flush. The wedding is tomorrow. I still need to go back and tell my parents about changing the groom tomorrow. I threw off the blanket and got out of bed. Marcus unhurriedly followed me into the walk-in closet, where shelves were filled with women's clothing. I looked at the multitude of clothes in surprise. Mom prepared them yesterday when we went for our wedding photo shoot. I felt a pang in my nose, turned, wrapped my arms around Marcus's neck, stood on my tiptoes, and kissed his cheek. "Thank you, Marcus." The man was like a beast ready to erupt at any moment. He tightly embraced my waist. "Do you have any idea you're playing with fire?" I tried to push him away. "Stop it, it'll be noon soon." Marcus refused to let go, leaning in to lightly bite my earlobe. "Sweetheart, call me honey." I parted my lips and softly whispered, "Honey." I heard Marcus's breathing quicken. Fearing he would start again, I quickly said, "I really should get up." Marcus took a deep breath. "I'll let you off for now. Tonight." I took out a beige silk dress from the closet, but Marcus hung it back up, then pulled out a red strapless dress. "We're getting married tomorrow. Wear this, it's for good luck and celebration." I didn't refuse. I nodded, about to take it, but Marcus had already reached out himself. "I'll help you put it on." When we went downstairs, the dining table was already filled with delicious food. "Marcus, Gracie, you're up. We were just about to call you down for breakfast." Luna came forward. My father-in-law, William, was also home today. I hadn't seen him yesterday as he wasn't there. I was about to speak, but Marcus spoke first. "Dad." This is your daughter-in-law. I quickly echoed, Dad. Yes. It was clear my father-in-law was very happy. He said, quickly, sit down and eat. Marcus pulled out a chair for me. I said, Dad, Mom, I'd like to go back home for a bit later. After all, I haven't told my parents about changing the groom tomorrow. I saw my father-in-law and mother-in-law exchange a look. My mother-in-law smiled, of course, of course. You and Marcus go home without worry. Leave the wedding arrangements to me. I guarantee you'll be satisfied tomorrow. Luna also spoke up. Yes, 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 Gracie, rest assured. Mom and I will personally go to the Azure Ballroom later to supervise, ensuring that tomorrow's wedding goes off without a hitch. After dinner, Marcus returned to my place with a trunk full of all sorts of exquisite gift boxes. I thought my parents would be taking an afternoon nap at this hour, but it turned out they seemed to have known I'd come home at this time. They weren't surprised at all to see me return with Marcus, who was carrying many gift boxes. Instead, they warmly said to Marcus, "Oh, why did you bring so many things home?" I watched my parents, one on each side, take the gift boxes Marcus was carrying and pull him to sit on the sofa. I, on the other hand, was left standing alone. I instantly understood the treatment Marcus received when I went to the Vance family estate yesterday. Mom? I tentatively called out, but my parents were deep in conversation with Marcus, as if he were their precious child and I was just an outsider. I walked over. Dad, Mom, why aren't you surprised at all? I said excitedly, surprised about what? I always said Daniel didn't seem reliable. I didn't like him to begin with, but you liked him, so I had no choice but to respect your decision. I added, it's a good thing you had a sudden realization and found a new son-in-law for Dad in time. You knew I was changing grooms? I hadn't even said anything, had I? I just brought Marcus back. Your parents-in-law came by yesterday afternoon. Your and I are 100% supportive. Speaking of which, when you two were little, your mother-in-law and I even jokingly promised you to each other when you were kids. I never thought it would actually happen. Of course, both our families are thrilled. The next day, on the wedding day, I woke up early, changed into my wedding dress, got my makeup done, and arrived at the wedding venue. Some of my guests had never met Daniel, so they weren't aware that I had changed grooms. Those who had met Daniel were surprised but only whispered among themselves. Marcus's relatives and friends, who had been informed at the last minute, offered congratulations to my parents-in-law at the entrance of the ballroom. My parents-in-law happily gestured for them to come in and take their seats. A huge poster made from Marcus's and my wedding photos was displayed at the entrance of the ballroom. I found out later that Marcus's and my wedding was live-streamed and broadcast on major screens across the city. He was declaring his love for me to the whole world. As the guests took their seats one by one and the appointed time for the ceremony to begin arrived, the officiant read out the wedding program on stage, and Marcus stood there, waiting for me. I walked down the red carpet, arm in arm with my dad. Bubble machines hidden in the flower arrangements on both sides of the carpet continuously released bubbles, creating an exceptionally beautiful scene under the lights. I placed my hand into Marcus's. I'm entrusting Gracie to you. Marcus said, Dad, rest assured, I will love her for the rest of my life. I stepped off the stage, and the officiant continued the wedding ceremony. Now, may the bride and groom exchange rings. Alex, dressed in a bridesmaid's gown, walked onto the stage carrying a decorative tray. Marcus took out the diamond ring from the ring box on the tray, knelt on one knee, and looked at me with deep affect. Gracie, thank you for agreeing to marry me. I saw Marcus's eyes well up slightly. I raised my hand, and he slid the diamond ring onto my ring finger. I then pulled him up. I picked up the other ring. Alex walked off the stage. Just as I was about to place the ring on Marcus's ring finger, the ballroom doors suddenly burst open, and Daniel rushed in, shouting, Stop. Everyone's gaze turned to Daniel, who had burst in. Daniel's face was full of disbelief. He couldn't believe I would marry Marcus. What are you doing? I'm your groom. Daniel's words immediately caused some confused onlookers to start whispering. I felt Marcus's body tremble slightly. He seemed nervous, afraid I might change my mind. I ignored Daniel's words, placed the ring on Marcus's ring finger, and then intertwined my hand, wearing the diamond ring, with his. Only then did Marcus smile. I turned around, looking at Daniel, who seemed like a clown. My groom is currently marrying me. Who do you think you are? Daniel shook his head. No, it's not like this. How could you marry him? Luna rose from the audience. If my Gracie isn't marrying my brother, then is she supposed to marry a jerk like you? Daniel frowned, ignoring Luna, and continued to look at me. Gracie, I'm back. Today was supposed to be our wedding. I'm the groom. I didn't know how Daniel had caught wind that I was still holding a wedding today. I was about to speak. Marcus said, rushed back? Do you mean rushed here from your hotel room by taking the elevator? The entire venue erupted in an uproar, and Daniel's face turned ashen. Luna pretended to gasp, covering her mouth. Oh, you certainly know how to make an entrance. Just in time for my brother and his wife to have finished their wedding. After speaking, Luna clapped her hands. Instantly, the screen, which had been showing Marcus's and my wedding photos, switched to boudoir photos of Daniel and Vanessa. Daniel was wearing only tight briefs, and Vanessa was in just a bikini. Their poses were highly suggestive. Intimate photos of them in various poses played dynamically. The audience members below began to whisper. I understood, these must have been the photos they paid a high price for yesterday at Ethan's studio. Alex stood up, shaking her head as she said, wow, this is truly scandalous. What nerve do you have to claim you're Gracie's groom? Even if Daniel understood what was happening, he had to grit his teeth and deny it at this point. He said, that's slander. These are definitely photoshopped internet pictures. Marcus nodded, looking indifferent. Is that so? What about this? Marcus pulled a small remote control from his pocket and pressed a button, aiming it at the screen. An even more scandalous scene appeared. A video immediately played of Daniel and Vanessa kissing passionately in a hotel room, frantically stripping off clothes, their gasps and moans amplified endlessly by the speakers. A gasping voice, clearly Vanessa's, emanated from the screen. Daniel, don't you think, being here, on the same floor as your wedding with Grace isn't it more thrilling? Just as I was about to turn, Marcus covered my eyes and gently turned me away. Sweetheart, that's not a sight for your eyes. Don't let it hurt you. The audience was already buzzing with chatter, and Daniel's face flushed crimson. I removed Marcus's hands from my eyes and looked at Daniel. So, what exactly made you think you would be my groom? Daniel clearly knew he had no defense against such irrefutable evidence. I didn't give him a chance to speak. I continued, you claimed you were on a business trip abroad, but in reality, you were spending every day cozying up with your ex-girlfriend, Vanessa. With every word I spoke, Daniel's face grew paler. As if responding to my words, the screen instantly switched back to the photos and videos I had originally received. Each image was an intimate photo of Daniel and Vanessa in various settings. A video of them passionately kissing in the karaoke bar also played. I pointed at the screen and said, this is your business trip abroad that led you to cancel our wedding? Unaware of the public outcry against Daniel online, he was about to retort when his phone began ringing incessantly. He initially intended to hang up, but after seeing the caller ID, he answered. You're a disgrace. What the hell have you done? Sterling's stock is plummeting. He glanced at his phone in a panic, then gritted his teeth and left. Marcus took the microphone. My apologies for the spectacle. That was just a small interruption. Please, everyone, enjoy the food and drinks. The officiant then stepped in to liven up the atmosphere. Now for our main event, the bride's bouquet toss. All the single ladies and gentlemen in the audience are welcome to come up and catch some good vibes. As the officiant's words faded, many single men and women gathered on the stage. The officiant announced, let's do something different. Everyone, form a circle. We'll play a game of passing the bouquet to music. The bride will turn her back to you, and when she strikes the large drum, the passing stops. Whoever holds the bouquet at that moment wins. Everyone formed a large circle as instructed by the officiant. I handed my bouquet to Luna, who was standing nearby. As the cheerful music began, the bouquet was passed around the circle. My back was to them, so I didn't know whose hands it had reached, but I felt, judging by the music's progression, that it must have gone around several times. I took the drumstick and struck the large drum in front of me with a heavy thud. When I turned back, the bouquet was right in Luna's hands. She looked at it, slightly emotional and in disbelief. Me? It's me? I glanced at Ethan, then shifted my gaze to Luna, smiling. Looks like we'll be celebrating another wedding soon. After the wedding reception ended, on the way back to the Vance family estate, I saw our ing footage looping on large screens all over the streets. I looked at Marcus in surprise. He smiled and said, since I married you, I might as well announce it to the world. Later, I heard from Luna about Marcus's long-standing secret crush on me. Recalling how I managed to switch grooms from Daniel to Marcus, a saying came to mind, the most skilled hunters often appear as their prey. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to share your perspectives, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.